Remember when this movie was announced and a lot of us said they'll have to invent half the cast because there isn't enough story here for a movie? Well, the casting announcements are arriving, and somehow they managed to prove the point faster than expected, because not only are we getting a brand new elf, not only are we getting a brand new ranger, but we're apparently getting an entire collection of characters Tolkien never wrote. And now I'm genuinely starting to wonder whether this movie exists because somebody had a story to tell, or because somebody wanted to keep hold of the rights. So let's take a look at the latest developments surrounding the Hunt for Gollum, because this thing is rapidly turning into the exact movie many fans feared it would become. The problem with this project has never been Gollum, it has never been Aragorn, and it certainly hasn't been Middle-earth. The problem is the source material. When people hear the Hunt for Gollum, they imagine a hidden Tolkien story that never made it to screen. That's not really what this is. The basic outline exists. Gandalf becomes suspicious, Aragorn tracks Gollum, Gollum gets captured, eventually he ends up in Mirkwood. That's largely it. The framework exists, the detailed story doesn't. Which means if you're making a major blockbuster movie out of it, you're going to have to start inventing things, and that's exactly what's happening. This next prediction really made me laugh. In my last video, I joked that they'd probably just invent another ranger. Honestly, you almost have to. Think about it. Aragorn can't die, Gandalf can't die, Gollum can't die. The audience already knows how this ends. So, where do you get the stakes from? Simple, you make someone up. Enter the new ranger, Halford. Now, maybe he'll be great. Maybe he'll steal every scene and become a total fan favourite. But let's be honest, when a prequel introduces a brand new companion who was never mentioned again, people immediately wonder how long they're going to survive. It's the classic prequel problem. The original story is already locked in. That means the new guy has to carry all the danger. And that's exactly why this announcement cracked me up. It was just so predictable. Then came the announcement that really made me raise an eyebrow. A brand new elf called Seren. Now, before anyone gets upset, this isn't about the actress. It's strictly about the character. Because once again, this is someone Tolkien never wrote. Instantly, I started getting flashbacks to the Hobbit trilogy. You remember how that went? A simple story got stretched out. Extra material got tacked on. New characters popped up, and suddenly we got entire subplots that were never in the original book. Now, maybe Seren turns out to be fantastic. Maybe she's brilliantly written and becomes the standout star. But looking at this from the outside, it feels way too familiar. You have a movie with limited source material. The studio needs more plot. They need more action. They need more characters. So, what do? They just start making people up. This is exactly where prequels struggle. Not always, but most of the time. Why? Because everyone already knows how the story ends. We know Aragorn survives. We know Gandalf survives. We know Gollum survives. Heck, we know Middle-earth survives. So, the writers have to manufacture tension somewhere else. That's why prequels always rely on the same tropes. New characters, hidden adventures, secret missions, and untold events. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it really doesn't. The real worry here is that we're drifting away from what made this idea cool in the first place. The original pitch sounded so simple. Aragorn hunting Gollum through the wilderness. A darker, smaller, more focused Middle-earth story. Honestly, that sounded awesome. But with every single announcement, this project just feels bigger and bigger and bigger, which is exactly what people were worried about from day one. And this is the question that keeps coming back. Why this story? Why now? Why this specific slice of Middle-earth? Because if we're being brutally honest, there are plenty of Tolkien stories that feel like natural movie material. This one, it always felt a bit odd. That's why so many fans immediately suspected something else was driving this project. Not creative necessity, not storytelling necessity, business necessity. Let me say that again. Business necessity. Middle-earth is still one of the most valuable fantasy properties on Earth, and valuable properties have to keep generating content, whether there's a great story to tell or not. That's why every single casting announcement makes me more and more curious. I want to see where Tolkien ends, and where the screenplay begins, and right now that line seems to be drifting further away every single month. Now, maybe this ends up being brilliant. It absolutely could. A great script can make almost anything work, and honestly, I'd be delighted to be wrong. But right now, the project increasingly feels like a movie built around a title rather than an actual story. The Hunt for Gollum sounded intriguing, but the actual details we're getting, they sound more and more like studio-created Middle-earth fanfiction. And the funniest part, I literally joked that they'd invent another ranger. Then they went out and announced another ranger. At this rate, if they reveal a mysterious warrior, a secret villain, and an emotional sacrifice in Act 3, I'm going to start wondering if someone at Warner Brothers watched my video and started taking notes. What do you think? Are you excited for The Hunt for Gollum? Do these new characters worry you? And which announcement made you raise your eyebrow the most? The new ranger? The new elf? Or the idea that we're turning a very small piece of Tolkien lore into an entire blockbuster franchise? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy breaking down movie and TV industry nonsense, subscribe and join us for the next one.